Hey guys, what's up? It's AB Trades here doing our Sunday Stock Talk, which is the top stocks to watch out for this week and where do we see them going. Alright guys, before we begin, I have some investing projects that I will be starting soon. That will be great to witness on the YouTube channel. So if you would like to stay up to that, please subscribe. And with that, I also started an Instagram account called The Impeccable Investor. If you want to look up that, it's going to be everything about investing. It's not going to be this motivational stuff you see on Instagram. It's going to be useful information that will help you learn to trade and invest more effectively given strategies. Alright, the link below, that's going to be the first link in this description. Alright, now moving on. If you can see here, we always start off with SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF, because it comprises the top 500 stocks. So looking here, you can see that we had this uptrend here throughout 2019. We've been hitting this uptrend, hit that higher high, higher low, higher high. So what we're looking at here is this next higher low. So we're looking to target this 290 level, maybe even 295. The reason why we're looking for this pullback this week is because if you can see here, we're really starting to wedge up. You can see here that we're starting to use these previous highs and we're starting to use these lows and we're starting to come into a wedge formation. The last time we had this wedge formation was right here. If we can picture this a bit more clear, if you can see here, we started wedging here a lot and then we had this nice dip. I am not saying we're going to have a dip this huge, but I am saying, hey, we do have a smaller wedge forming here. It wouldn't be a huge surprise if we at least catch this next support here down around 290, 292.5 area. So what I'm looking for this week on SPY is I'm looking for it to either continue to make these new highs and continue higher, higher, and higher. But if it doesn't, if we see that nice indecision candle around the top, then we'll be looking for that reversal and look for support to come into play around here. At first at around 296.7 or 297, and then if we break through this support, our next support will be here at around 290. Alright, moving on. All these stocks here are the top requested stocks. If you want me to break down your stock, click the second link below, which is the link to the free Discord group chat. Alright, looking here first is AMD, Advanced Micron Devices. If you can see here, we're coming on this breakout where we had this breakout here. We kind of broke out, then we broke out. Basically, we're just using these resistance levels and getting above it each time. So if you can see here, our most recent resistance level is right here, but we're still holding this uptrend line here. So if we get this nice pullback, we have this uptrend, we still have momentum to the upside. What I am looking for here is the SPY continues to the upside this week. We're going to see a nice little pullback here on AMD and then a huge push up to the upside. This is that 1, 2, 3 break. We didn't actually break on the third one, but we didn't also massively fail. So that's showing that we do have some support being held here. So we're going to wait and see if this support will actually hold, and if it does, then we'll see that nice huge rip up to the upside. If we can't get up above this level, then we'll see a nice return back to the support here at around $31. Facebook, which is the first of the FANG stocks, F-A-A-N-G, you can see here that we have a lot of consolidation toward this price. We don't really want to make a higher high. We don't really want to make a lower low. But we're seeing a lot of indecision back and forth action on an intraday movement, which is going to be great to capture day trading profits, right? Because you have a lot of movement in intraday, but the only problem is catching the direction of it. If you can see here, we have our highs around 207.50 and we have our lows at around 197.50. So that's what we're going to be watching out for, a little more of a range-bound day on Facebook until we can break up above or break down below. Looking here on Netflix, earnings broke us down to the support here at around 325. Then we dipped down and we broke above it. And I said on pre-market notes, or at least to the premium group chat, that if we're breaking above this level, this 325 level, our next support will be 340. And we got that huge rip on Friday. We got that huge green movement, which is a great thing to see here in the stock market, especially in Netflix. It's showing that, hey, the tech does have some volatility, does have some movement to the upside. So our next retest is going to be 340. My guess is we're going to break through 340, come up and retest it and break up to around 370. But if we get that resistance here at 340 this week, then we'll see that nice return back down to 325. Amazon here, if you can see, is coming down to the downside, holding this trend line though. You see this trend line here to the downside? Well, it broke above. It's coming down to retest that support. Maybe build some support here because this is the $1,900 price level to eventually break up higher. Apple here has this resistance. It's starting to build at this resistance. You can see here it got rejected, quickly rejected. This one's actually building here. If you can see, it's starting to put in multiple candles, showing that, hey, we're going to put up a fight here between the bulls and the bears. If we get up above this level here at around 210, if we break above 210, I would expect to see a nice bullish movement this week as we're finally getting above this trend line and breaking up higher. If we can't, we're going to be seeing our first retracement at around the support level of 200. MSFT breaking higher and higher with those all-time highs, and again, with all-time highs, watch the whole number of levels. So our next level is going to be 142, followed by 143, followed by 143.5 and 144, etc., etc., etc. Looking here at Tesla on earnings, we kind of gapped down here because they did not meet standards, which is usual on Tesla. Tesla is a hype stock followed by and moved by the momentum of the people investing in it. It's not necessarily a quality stock, but more of a stock that moves based on movement or move based on hype. So if you can see here, we did put in this doji here around this 220 level where we've had previous consolidation. So what is going to be our line in the sand here is 220. If we break below 220, we're going to get that return around here to 180. If we can hold 220 with this doji candle, then we can bounce back up and retest 246 and maybe even higher. Only halfway through, not too far. Disney here, we're starting to break up higher. We have this this range bound type thing with a high of around 145.50 and a low of 140, trading range bound until we break up higher. INTC, Intel, you can see here that we have this nice red candle as we try to break above this. What we're looking for is an eventual pullback, maybe even here to around $50 or 51. Get that bounce and push back up. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, gaps fill. We're looking for this gap to fill. QCOM here, gap filled. We kind of got this consolidation. We're kind of forming what is known as like this this downtrend to the bottom. It's like a descending triangle pattern. So we're looking forward to break below this this 73.90 level of support. Looking here at CSCO, you can see here that we've been holding this trend line. We couldn't necessarily break this resistance. Now we're breaking below this trend line, showing that, hey, we do have some weakness in this market. Our next support that we're going to see here is 52. Looking for a sell-off this week on CSCO. WMT here, you can see that we're starting to break up to the upside. We got a lot of movement. We're kind of hit that first dip. It is a higher low, which is a great thing to see. Hopefully we can retest this 115.50 level and then break up higher. So our look for Walmart is to retest that 115.50 level. BYND, Beyond Meat, has been seeing that huge movement. As looking out here, I drew this back in the past. We're looking for that triangle breakout pattern, looking for that to happen. As we got above this level, we saw volume step in and we got that nice rip up to the upside. The only reason why I want to mention this here is because we do have this huge indecision candle, so we will be returning back to this trend line. And I just wanted to let those know who've been trading this stock is that we do have a pullback looking like it is inevitable. But again, it can still break up higher for this trend to fall around support around $200. Shopify here, if you can see, Shopify has been on the uptrend. If you can look at it on the years thus far, we're up 147%. Amazing things to see. But anyways, we keep breaking above resistances, so if that's true, we have this next resistance to break here at 340.84. So we'll be watching to break that resistance here up to the upside. If we can, then we'll be finding this trend line as support at around 320. CVS here, we kind of had this low support that we're falling, but this resistance is coming in. Something that could happen here is we bump up into this resistance, we gap into a resistance, and we have that sell-off. We filled this gap, we're going to build some support is what we're doing right now, and then we're going to eventually break up higher. I would say to make sure you're eventually breaking up higher, watch for it to break above 58 this week, and then continue higher. Twitter here. Twitter found support at around 34 with that double bottom. Now we're starting to break up higher, even on earnings, which is good. $40 was the support that we broke above, or resistance that we broke above. But we do have this previous support at 42.10 that is hitting our resistance. So watch out for 42.10 as a level to stop it on the way up, and maybe even have some breakout room above that level. Low being Lowe's company. If you can see here, we are trading overall range bound, but it is an upward sloping range bound. If you can see here, the lows are connecting, and the highs in general, if you take the average, if this will draw, are eventually getting higher. So what's happening here is we're kind of trending up to the upside, and we do even have this middle ground here that's pretty important as well. You can see that it's drawn to the middle line. We drew to the middle line, we found some support. We're going to eventually be breaking up here to 107, 108 level to retest this breakout and see up higher. So again, Lowe's is in this middle ground territory, but if we can break above this middle ground, then we'll have room up here to 120. If we can't, then we'll be looking to retest $95. Last stock Nvidia. All right, see, Nvidia is finally breaking up higher after this little downtrend, but it's breaking up slowly but surely. It's holding this little trend line here. Maybe watch for a pullback and eventually catch it. But our super strong resistance will be here at around 193. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't, please like, comment, and subscribe. There's going to be some changes on YouTube if you didn't catch it in the first part of the video. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on that, and follow me on Instagram if you want to learn more about investing and trading. Thank you so much for tuning in. See y'all tomorrow.